Hi, everyone out there. Welcome to Relationship Coaching Live. I'm so excited to be here with you. Um, Today, we're going to talk about a really cool topic. And I'm going to ask you some questions before. Okay, so have you ever felt like doubt is the biggest roadblock standing between you and your dreams? What if I told you that doubt isn't your enemy, but your secret weapon for your success? That's right. Doubt doesn't have to stop you. It can be the very thing that fuels your growth, sharpens your focus, and propels you forward. Now, today we're breaking it all down: why doubt creeps in, how to silence it, and most importantly, how to turn it into your biggest superpower. Yes, to crush your goals and strengthen your relationships. And I couldn't even think of a better person to explore this than my guest today, Kate Glendon, who is a powerhouse life coach at Glendon Coaching. Kate helps people transform fear into fuel and step into their full potential. And today, she's bringing all the wisdom and tools to help you do the same. So if you've ever second guessed yourself, hesitated, or taking that next big leap, or felt stuck in self-doubt, buckle up, honey, because this episode is for you. And let me welcome to the stage, the virtual stage, Kate Glendon. Hi, Kate.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, so buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride today.
I love that. Yes, that's what we're here for, to just stir up stuff. Good morning, Karamia. Well, hello, Kelly. Good morning, King. How are you? Thank you for joining us. I'm very excited to have this guest. She is amazing, and she's going to help us out, all of us, to overcome our doubts. Which, oh my gosh, they're there, aren't they? And
Yes.
I know. And why is it that doubt creeps in, and even when we logically know that we're capable? Why is that?
That is such a good question. And it comes from just our experiences that we think that doubt is something bad, but doubt isn't. It's a stop sign for us to reflect. And reflect on, is this the right choice I'm going to make? But we often think of doubt as, I'm not good enough. I'm not capable enough. But that's not what it is. Doubt is there to prove that you are making the right choice, and you need to get out of this doubt spiral. Like, it is healthy to doubt yourself. It's showing your growth. What's unhealthy about doubt is when it lets you get in the way of moving forward, and you just stay in stuck. You stay in this paralysis because you think that you might fail. And that's what a lot of people align doubt with. And you're not going to, but our brain is subconsciously wired to protect us. And
Right.
so when we allow that to come into our brain, all these limited beliefs come in, and we start to feel like, maybe this isn't right for us. But it is. We just have to take that one step forward to show us that we have the confidence to do it, because we all do. It's true.
Absolutely. And I think that having doubt is actually a good sign of self-awareness. And it's like you said, it's a chance for us to kind of analyze the situation and be like, okay, I can do A, B, or C, right? So once we push the crazy doubt, that intrusive thought of doubt, I think if we analyze the situation and see what our options are, then thank God for doubt, because we got there. We're analyzing the situation because we had that doubt. So we can turn that into a positive, right?
Absolutely. Confident people have doubt. They just take action. I mean, that's really the difference. So stop thinking that like you're not good enough, but just realize it's a natural part of making decisions. So we have to eliminate the I'm not good enough and start being like, yes, what's one small step I can do? Because that's
Absolutely.
how we build.
Yes, agreed. Couldn't agree more. But I have a question for you about the myths of doubt. So, what do you think are the biggest myths about self-doubt that keep people stuck?
I get this all the time. It's like, I'm not capable to do that. Like, what are other people are going to say? You know, we have to, what if I fail? But what if you succeed? And so we hang on to the failure part of it, and we are afraid to take bolder actions
Mhm.
instead of, what if I can learn something from this? What if there is another possibility? But the doubt of, well, this is different. I'm going outside the box. What are people going to think of me? And we let that kind of stir up in our mind and have that noisy roommate kind of telling us, nope, stay in your lane, stay comfortable, everything's going well. When really it's like, well, what if I succeed? Wouldn't you have rather tried to know and live this possibly grand new life or having this new happiness rather than sitting in fear? And so many
Absolutely.
rather just sit there.
Yes, and sometimes we have to fail, quote unquote fail, right? To be able to learn from our failure. And actually for me, like when I fail at something or when it doesn't go the way I want it, that's what I call failure. I it just motivates me to find another way to do it that might be better, or something else to do that might be more aligned with what who I am. So I think that we can turn anything into a positive in life. I'm a big believer of that. Are you a big believer of that too?
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way you really learn, because you could sit and be like, oh, I made this mistake and I made that mistake. Like, okay, we all make them. We all have failures. Like, we actually did something right then, right? If you're
Mhm.
not failing, then what are you doing? Like, you're just, you know what I mean? You have to fail forward. I truly believe that. And if you're able to be like, okay, you can be sad for a day, but what learning experience can you get from that? What do you need to improve on? What value? Like, what can you self-reflect on? And it's not always easy, but if you can do that, then you can keep moving forward. So I just think it's so important to fail, because it means you're trying. I'd rather try and fail than just be sitting and wondering.
Absolutely. Almost like a fight or flight, right?
Yeah, it's so scary, but it's so amazing, that feeling that you get when you try and you overcome that self-doubt. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely, absolutely. But like, when things don't go my way and I'm like, at least I tried. At least I did it. And you never know how something is going to pan out. So you got to try to know how it's going to pan out for you.
Yeah, 100%. I love that perspective, because like you just don't know, and I'd rather know than sit in indecision, because when you're sitting in indecision, you're not making any decision.
Yeah.
And so where are we going here with this? Do you want to overcome doubt? Do you want to reach your goals, or you just want to think about them? Like, or do you want, it's just a wish
Yeah.
at that point.
Overthinking is not our friend.
Yeah, I mean, we all
No.
do it. Hi, I do it. But
Yeah.
like, how
Same.
do we move forward? No one is perfect, but the people that do reach their goals take small actions. They don't have to be huge. It's just one stone at a time.
Absolutely. I'm always saying celebrate the small wins.
Yeah. They say like enjoy the journey. And what does
Yeah.
that mean? It's the small wins, because you're
Yes.
always going to be wanting more and more and more. But if you can just be like, okay, like I did this today, that was so successful. How can I enjoy that moment? And that's what we need to focus on rather than the bigger picture, because the small wins get you there.
Absolutely. And sometimes what I do is I compare, like, okay, a year ago when I start like, oh my God, why am I doing this? It's not going anywhere. So I look at a year ago where I was, I'm like, oh, okay. My business grew, or my YouTube channel grew amazing. And I learned how to make better videos and what my audience wants. And it's good to really step back and look at how far you've come. Don't you think that's like one of the crucial things to do?
Absolutely. I believe in doing a monthly reflection. I actually have it on my website, because I think it's important. Like, we can just go through our routines and not realize just the little things, like, oh, I saved a $10 this week, or, I grew my audience, or I actually followed my routine of the gym,
Mhm.
or drank my 8 glasses of water, whatever it is. But, you should recognize that. And maybe you could pivot the next month for what changes or what you want to continue. So I think, reflection is good. People don't always want to reflect because you have to go inwards. But
Yeah,
if you want to reach that goal and, kind of overcome that doubt, that's where we got to take action. You are
absolutely.
responsible for your life.
Well, how about, like, for example, when I plan for a week and then like let's say the workouts, right? The steps, something simple as that.
Mm.
And I don't do my steps, then I'm like, okay, honey, you need to like change this. And the next few days, you gotta really focus on having, doing those 5,000 steps or 10,000 steps or whatever it is. Or even if I'm just moving because I don't have time to do my 5,000 steps, then I'm like, that's a small win. So we don't have to be like really ambitious about things, too ambitious, right? What's your take on that? On being overly
Yeah.
ambitious?
I think we should have like a limit. Like, okay, so I will, you want 5,000 steps a week. So your bare minimum is 1 day or 2 days. Like maybe you have busy week, your bare minimum is 3,000 steps. So you know that you have like a low level of reaching something, but you're still working towards it, right? Or you're going to have a day where things just are flop, but you
Yes,
built into your schedule that on Fridays, I have that whole day to make up for, things ran late, I overslept, meetings came and gone, so that you just built it in. So you can still make up some of the things that you were supposed to do earlier in the week or at the end, or you
yeah,
can reflect for the next week, think, okay, like if I don't do my steps in before 9 a.m., they're not getting done. So I have to reschedule, replan, so that way cross that off. Like they say to do the hardest thing first. And maybe that's sometimes getting those steps in or whatever
yes,
that is for you, your hardest project first. And maybe that's 1 day a week, but like be realistic because,
yeah.
3 things a day, 3 things a week for goals. I think that's really important. People have this really ambitious things that they want to accomplish every day and every week, and then they're defeated.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a producer's note, if you don't mind. There's something that's making like clicking noises. I think it might be your like bracelets or something. Yes, that's the clicking noise. Yes, thank you, thank you. Here we're live, you guys, so I can't like stop and
Sorry, I love bracelets. Kate Glendon loves bracelets on Kate Glendon Coaching. I got them on here too. If
I
you love
love that.
bracelets, I appreciate you.
Oh, no problem. So how does doubt manifest in like our relationships, our careers, and our personal growth?
It's a ripple effect.
Mm,
So if you're doubting yourself in your relationships, you're going to show up as like you're not trusting yourself, you're not trusting your partner. Um, you're not feeling your and showing up as your authentic, genuine self. So that could be feeling like maybe you're believing your partner doesn't really love themselves, or your friends aren't really being honest, or you're afraid that you're being left out, or you're afraid to say what you really want to say. And maybe at work, you're having imposter syndrome. You feel like everyone else is better than you. And then with yourself, like think about what you're telling yourself. Like, are you talking to yourself like your best friend? So this
mm,
self-doubt comes in and, you end up, if you're doing all this, you end up just feeling flat or completely defeated because your mindset is out of alignment. You're all out of alignment when you have this self-doubt that's really overpowering you. So it's telling yourself like you're capable, you're worthy, you love yourself so that you're able to trust yourself again, to trust to be in relationships, to trust your voice,
mm.
and to trust your intuition that you are making the right decisions.
Absolutely. Yes. Do you believe like self-love is like number one for everything in life?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I had to go back and take a break and self-love myself when I was
Mhm.
not aligned and letting over doubt come in because you know what? If I wasn't loving myself, then my mindset wasn't right. And how could I be a complete person to anyone besides myself, to others, if I didn't learn to really love myself? And so I had to do that with mindset shifts, affirmations, journaling, and really just changing the script in my mind that like I can do these things and I can and will take actions every day, no matter how small they are.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah, I'm a big believer of self-love for everything because it all starts there. Even,
Yeah.
right? Even if you have doubt, you will still be in a better place to analyze your situation and see where you're going rather than, I think if you don't love yourself, then the intrusive thoughts will multiply. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I love that because if you're not loving yourself, then you're letting these thoughts take over your body. But if you love yourself, you can tell yourself that thought is just a thought. That's not a real feeling. That's just just something coming in and you're just going to let it go because you know ultimately what your heart and your mind think about yourself and feel about yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what's the difference between healthy skepticism and destructive self doubt?
Healthy skepticism is just like wondering, like, is this the right path for me? Like, is this the right goal that like I need to go on? And then the other one is fear based. It's like I'm afraid to take any action because something bad may happen. And you can have healthy self doubt because you want to make sure you're making the right decisions for you. But when you let the fear come in, it's paralyzing. And so you don't take any action. And
Mhm.
so we want to avoid that. We want to be curious, but we don't want to be just sitting and stuck in the mud, right? So being
Absolutely.
open to possibilities. So that's what I think it is. I think it's normal and healthy to wonder and explore the path. Like, is this going to get me to my next goal or my next future memory? But then take action.
Absolutely. So, we're basically talking also about transforming that fear into fuel, right? So,
Yes.
yes. And so, how can we reframe doubt as a tool rather than an obstacle? How do we reframe our thoughts and that doubt?
What I like to do is like when I start to have like these, I call it like the swirling brain, and I'm thinking of all these self doubts or I'm not feeling good enough. I write them down, and then on the next, and I cross a line on the piece of paper, and then I write all the evidence that proves them wrong. And then I go even further. I flip the paper over, and I write down all my accomplishments, whether it's in the past month, the past year, to prove like I am capable of all this stuff, and that my mind is just having a moment. We all have moments where we're just like, what have I really done in my life? What have I really doing? But you know what I mean? Like, let's just like
Yes.
take a breath, and it's okay. This happens. Like, this is normal, but let's go back to the facts. The facts is that you're very capable, accomplished, and worthy. And you just need to see it down written in paper so that you can go back and cross off everything that is just a feeling or a thought or a moment in time.
Absolutely. So, what is the number one mindset shift that helps people break free from self doubt?
Hmm. Is knowing that what you're thinking does not dictate what is actually going to happen in your future. So it's changing what you're telling yourself. So if you
Mhm.
keep thinking and telling yourself things that are not positive, you are going to create that reality for you. So
Yes,
it's a positive mindset. So whether it's journaling, affirmations, and telling yourself that you are worthy, that you're seeing the bigger picture, you're going to start creating an environment where you're attracting things and creating abundance rather than negativity. And so that is going to kind of change your world. And so when your world is more of a happy environment and one of less of self doubt and self fear, you're going to start taking action. So seeing yourself as who you want to be rather than who you are right now.
I love that. And do you think that can turning doubt into curiosity be a game changer?
Yeah. In asking yourself why and keep asking yourself why until you get to the root of the answer. Why do you feel this way? And why do you feel that way? And why do you think you need to do that? And why do you think people care about that? And why do you care what they think? And what is it that you really want? And getting like deeper and deeper into that. And just being curious, because then you get to the true answer, and you wipe out all the noise, because we get so stuck in our head about what we should and wishes. But what is it that we're working towards?
Exactly. And that brings me to the sense of purpose because I found out that when I had a stronger sense of purpose for my life, everything I do goes, it's like it's right here, the sense of purpose, and everything else it's like a waterfall. Everything else is touched by that. And so whenever I ask myself, like, why am I doing this? Then I remember, oh, this is my purpose, and that's why I'm doing this. So, do you think that having that sense of purpose can help somebody to kind of like turn that doubt into a positive, into a tool, into fuel? when you know your purpose.
I love that you said that because purpose is everything.
Yeah,
It's what excites you.
yeah,
So, like, your purpose is like you just like do it. It makes you so happy. And when you have that purpose, everything else kind of just falls in alignment. So, you know your next step, you know your goals, you know where you should be going. So self-doubt stops creeping in because you have kind of like your roadmap. And that self-doubt doesn't fit in there because you know the next step. And, it sounds like you have your pillars of where you need to go. So there's no room to doubt it because you are confident in yourself.
absolutely. I love that. So, what role, well, actually, how can we recognize when our doubt is coming from external influences versus our own fears?
That's a really good question. So I would ask, like, why, when you're having the self doubt, like, who have you told like this goal, or who have you talked to that's, giving you these ideas? Have you shared it with someone? Is there someone's voice in the back of your head that's making you think this? Because maybe there is, you're hearing from other people and that is getting in the way of your thoughts. Or maybe it's based on past failures that you've had or you experienced in your life, and that can subconsciously prevent you from doing things. So it's kind of getting down to the root of the problem of, are you listening to other people? Are you basing what you're doing on past failures? And realizing that you need to kind of wipe that all away and realize, like, do you really want this? Are you comparing yourself? Are you living in the past, or do you want to live now? And what would your future self want you to do?
I love that. That's great. So, you guys, if you have any questions, if you're on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Twitch, you can actually post it as a comment and I'll put it up on the screen and Kate will answer your question. So, let's talk about now about some practical strategies to build that confidence. What are some daily practices that help silence that self doubt?
Gratitude. When you're living in abundance and you're grateful and you're writing 3 things every day and every night, you can wipe out a lot of this mindset of not feeling good enough. So it could be the smallest thing. I had a great cup of coffee. I
Yeah.
had a really good conversation with a friend today. And if things didn't go well at the end of the night, rewrite how the day went or how you'd want it to go. Writing down some affirmations that you feel like you need a boost in. So if you're not feeling good about yourself, what affirmations could you post around the house? I am worthy. I am capable. I am smart. Those are some things that work really well. And just journaling about these feelings and what action you're going to take and what time of day and what hour are you going to do it each day. So
That
time
sounds
blocking
good.
that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great practice. I do practice gratitude. And whenever a day is really bad, and like you said, focus on the little things. I have a roof over my head. How about that? That's huge. I have good food in my refrigerator. I'm breathing, my health is good today. So there's always something that we can be grateful for. I think. And even if it looks like everything is going bad, everything is just crumbling down around us and in our environment. But I always find the silver lining. And I think that in my personal case, keeps me going. It keeps me in a positive mode. It's not even a mood, it's a mode. So how can people build mental resilience against negative thoughts, those intrusive thoughts that always try to get in our head? It's so annoying.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Again, it's writing it down and then shifting the thought. Negative belief, positive thought.
Ah,
So you're just reframing it, right?
yeah.
One side of the paper, the negative thought, and then you're going to write on the other side of the paper, what is the opposite of that thought? Because you're not that thought. That's just a thought in your head. And people think they are their first thought and they're not. It's
Yes.
just your paradigm that's showing up.
100%. I always, went through a cancer healing journey, right? And so there was a lot of fear. And so whenever I felt butterflies in my stomach, I would be like, oh, instead of being I'm nervous, I'm excited that, I'm excited to go do chemo, which is not true. But I would be excited and then I would be there, with my IV and just like dancing, in my chair and just being as happy as I could be. So we can flip those thoughts into a positive one and it really affects you. I
I
mean,
love that. Yeah, I love that you did that because like if you're going into some place that's maybe not the best situation, or maybe you are going to a good situation, if you can bring happiness and joy to it,
Mhm.
you're telling the universe and you're already dictating that this is going to be a positive experience. You're
Yes.
bringing that with you, you're manifesting it. And so if you want a situation to go well, think about it. What joy are you bringing with it? Like how you can change a situation by how you show up and how you look at things.
100%. And also influence the environment around you. Because I remember the nurses were like, oh, we miss you, when you dance hip hop or whatever in your chair and you're listening to music. And so I think that we can also influence everybody around us if we change our attitude into something positive. And I remember like, people say chemo is like poison. I would be like, no, it's my healing juice. So I would tell my
Exactly.
yeah. Or radiation, they're microwaving you. I was like, no, they're God's rays shining on me, to heal me.
Absolutely. Like you're here to heal. Like,
Yeah.
so you can change like a room by just your energy
Yes.
and shifting the language that you use. And that's a perfect example of how you did it and how people can use it in the future. Shifting the language, like, okay, yeah, it's snowing outside, but you know what? That's so beautiful. And I get to wear this bright, like nice coat and everything. It's, it could be, worse, like, just changing and shifting it. You may be sick, but at least you're sick at home and you're not traveling. It's so all these things is just switching how we look at things.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when I get like the flu or something, and my first thing is like, oh, I teach swimming in the summer. So I'm like, oh, I can't teach swimming. And then I'm like, no, okay, it is a chance for you to stay home. You've been
Yeah.
working so hard. So now you're home and you can do stuff that you can do on your computer. And that's a good thing. So we can definitely change our thinking and it happens really quick. And I love that you have like a column like negative thought and turn it into a positive. So that's kind of like in your face, it's visual.
Absolutely. Because I think if you write it down and you cross it out and you see it visual, like you're writing it down. So it's becoming like part of you. And then you're seeing the opposite rather than just trying to think it out loud. Like it's concrete when it's written down. And you're doing, very different types of learning that way.
Absolutely. So besides writing it down and seeing the contrast of the negative and positive, what's a simple way to disrupt doubt in the moment? Like, stop it. I don't want to hear you. That's what I do, for example. If it's doubt or negative, I'm like, shut up. And I curse it out sometimes. I'm not kidding. And like, if it's a person that's trying to get into my world, I know it sounds crazy, but it works for me. So I'm like, stop it, shut up. I curse it out and it's out. It's gone.
It's gone. That's right. You can like grab the doubt from the sky, throw it to the ground. You can
Yeah.
write on a piece of paper, get up and then throw it in the trash. You can physically get up and go for a walk and move that energy around. I
Yes.
love doing that because you're distracting yourself, right? 7 minutes will bring up your serotonin levels and change your mood set, and you'll be on to something else, distracting yourself. Go call someone, go change your environment that you're in, because then you won't be so focused on it.
Absolutely. Yes. Or dancing. Dancing is a good thing.
Dance every day.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. Doesn't sound crazy at all. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I do. You know me well, Kelly. I
This
know
is
he believes me.
That's so good. So I hope everyone's dancing.
Yes, I know dancing. Absolutely. It's the best. So are there specific exercises that help strengthen self-belief?
Every day that you do it every day, it becomes a part of your routine, of your self-belief, that you're writing things down about what you believe in yourself, what you're capable of, your accomplishments, morning and night, setting intentions every day. It's the journaling. Who do I want to show up today? Who do I want to be? What are the goals that I'm going to focus on? How am I going to be present today? who is the person that I want to be in the future, and how do they show up today? So affirmations, journaling, thinking about how the person that I would want to be in the future would show up, and
Mm-hmm.
just keep acting on it. And when those self-doubt creep in, it's rewiring the brain. So it's a lot of conscious effort, but that's what worked for me to get
Yeah,
me out of my place. And it really does rewire the brain, because you're subconsciously telling yourself that you are worth it and you are capable of it, because you're writing it down twice a day, in the morning and at night when you're doing your gratitude practice as well.
absolutely. And before we continue, you guys, if you're on YouTube, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you're not on YouTube, here's down here, I have a ticker with my address, YouTube address, and it's not hashtag, at this day. Oh my God. I had an endoscopy yesterday, and I think the drugs are still.
It's okay. Do you want a bracelet?
Put it as a crown and see if it, attracts like good energy. It's the State of Grace Fraga, and you put at the State of Grace Fraga, subscribe. And if you subscribe and you send me a screenshot, I will give you a free digital gift. So you can't lose,
Ooh.
right? Just subscribe to my YouTube. There's a lot of really, really good content. Guests like Kate, I mean, top-notch guests that will help us. Yay, drugs. I know, right? Yeah, we're going to say substances for YouTube purposes. But yes, absolutely, because you don't want to have an endoscopy with no DRUGS, right? Definitely not. We have more people joining us from YouTube. If you're on YouTube, again, like, subscribe, share. And if you subscribe and you send me a screenshot, like Instagram, and I will give you a free digital gift. Thank you guys for joining us. We have a lot of people joining, and feel free to ask questions. Kate is here to answer your questions. She's amazing. And also, where can they find you, Kate?
They can find me on glendoncoaching.com. That is my website, and they can sign up for a newsletter and email me directly from there.
Excellent. So, how can someone break the cycle of self-sabotage that is caused by doubt?
Get out of your own way. Take action. Stop sitting in fear. Stop stop sitting in that spiral. Write down one thing that you want to do to achieve your goal, one small step that is preventing you, and take some sort of action, whether it's making your bed, drinking one glass of water to be healthier, just taking one small step, because you'll feel better, you'll feel more accomplished, and you're going to do it right after you do another habit. So if your goal is to drink more water after you brush your teeth, you're going to have your glass of water then. So we call it habit building. And so, that's what I would suggest. And then again, putting affirmations around you where you see it. Have a note card of your now goal, which is a big and scary goal that you want to achieve within the next year. Whether it's, I want to save, $1,000 by the end of the year, so that what you're working towards every year, and then save $1 that day, so that you're not just sitting and doing nothing and sitting in this scarcity mindset of fear. You're actually doing something. And the more that you do something towards your goal or towards getting out of self-doubt, you're building resiliency, you're building up your mindset to a better place, and you're building up your confidence.
That's great. You are full of great advice and great insights. Thank you for being on this podcast today. I appreciate you very much. Now let's talk about more specifics, like overcoming doubt in relationships and personal growth. So how does doubt affect our relationships, both romantic and platonic?
Romantic, you'll never trust your partner. So,
right.
right? Self-doubt. If you want to trust your partner, you got to trust yourself. So you got to do the work on yourself, right? Because no one's going to want to hear, do you love me every day? Do you like me every day? Are you seeing someone else? Because that's just not going to fly when they're telling you the truth and you don't believe them, because you don't actually trust and believe yourself.
Absolutely.
And so it only lasts for so long. And the same with platonic relationships. Are they really my friend? Or are they leaving me out? Like, are they telling me the truth? did they actually have fun hanging out with me? But did you actually have fun hanging out with them? Did you actually like either relationship? Like, you don't know because you're so worried because you're people pleasing. So you need to figure out what you like about either relationship, platonic or intimate, and learn what brings you joy. And the only way to do that is to find out how to trust yourself.
Mhm.
And, do you feel safe in these relationships? What are you looking for? And that's what I would suggest you start first, is start with your inner love, because otherwise you're just going to be asking people 100 questions. Are you mad at me? Do you like me? And you're going to lose out on a lot of things.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. But sometimes, we need time to heal if we had bad experiences. And I know we're not supposed to measure our present by our past experiences, but I
But
feel
we
like
do.
we do, but we do. That's a fact. And so, yeah, it takes time to heal sometimes. But you're right. It's about self-trust, that you're not trusting to choose the right partner too.
Right. And we may be choosing things out of scarcity or people pleasing, or we think like this may be the only person for us. But like,
Yeah.
no, you're worthy and capable and you deserve so much more. Don't settle just because you think like no one else is going to love you or hang out with you. Believe me, I'll tell you right now, they are.
Yeah.
But you need to love yourself, and you got to figure out what that is for you. Like, what is it about you that you don't like yourself, that you're looking to get that fulfilled by someone else? You need that internal validation, not the external.
I love that because that's a discovery I've made. It's like if you realize that you are enough, you enjoy your own company, you love yourself, you're
Yes.
okay with being by yourself, then I think that is the time when you can welcome somebody's energy into your field, right? You can welcome somebody into your life. And also, once you spend time with yourself, I think you know more what you want and what aligns with you, instead of just saying, like you were saying, just settle for, yeah, this person can be okay. And I've done that. I've done that many times, and
Who
that does not turn out good.
hasn't? Right? Who hasn't? But if you can take yourself out to dinner on a date, you can go on a
Yes.
vacation, and you could go a day trip by yourself. You love yourself, and you can,
Yes.
that's what I consider the ultimate inner love. Trust yourself, and you know your worth. And I think those are things to aim for and to try for if you're working on yourself.
Absolutely. And I do all of the above. I've always taken trips by myself, but now I take myself on a date to a restaurant that I like.
I love that.
And it's great. I love it. And it's just, I personally just love being with myself. And I know it sounds super narcissistic, but it's really not. Uh, it's really it all starts with us. It also, because we create our own reality. And you said that at some point today, that we create our own reality. So yeah, if you create your own reality of loving yourself, being okay with being by yourself, and enjoying your own company, then that's going to transfer to the outside world, I believe.
100%. You're creating your own reality, and when you're loving yourself, you're going to attract more love in.
Yeah, absolutely. So how can overcoming doubt improve our ability to set healthy boundaries with people, or with us, with ourselves?
Right? It's like we're not saying yes just because we feel like we have to go, like they will be mad at us, right? We're not
Yeah.
just showing up to say that we were in the selfie picture for Instagram or Facebook. We're saying yes because it's a heck yes. We want to be there. It's it's from the gut. We all know when we want to say no, and we want to stay in our pajamas, and we need to listen to that.
Yeah.
So healthy boundaries is knowing what serves us and our self-love and our self-care. We don't need to be driving around and running ragged and going to all these parties or doing all these things. That does not make you a better person. It actually
Yeah.
runs you down. So it's choosing what it's more aligned and what's a priority for you in
Mhm.
your life right now in your family. And when you have
Absolutely.
those, and feeling okay to say no. No is a healthy thing to say. It's okay to say no. You don't need to say yes all the time.
Absolutely.
You can be a yes person, but say no and have boundaries, and have weekends where you don't do things or leave work on time, or, say no to not carpooling. Like those are perfectly okay things to say no to, because you're allowed to. You don't need to fall into, people pressuring you.
I know I had a friend who was pressuring me about something, and I established boundaries like, no, stop it, stop it. She didn't, and I blocked her. If you're not understanding that I'm saying no 3 or 4 times, then I don't think we're aligning at this moment. So I've
Yeah.
become that bold because it's just, I don't have the time. Cancer has given me a sense of we don't have a lot of time and we can go anytime. We can leave this 3D planet anytime, which is not a bad thing, but, we got to make use of our time and our energy in a healthy and smart way. And anything that just doesn't do that in my life, I just have to push it aside or cut it out. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, those are energy suckers. We don't need to be around them, right? If they don't respect you and your boundaries, they're not someone that you need to be spending your time with.
100%. Yep. Agreed. So what advice do you have for someone who doubts their worth in a relationship?
Why do you doubt it? Is there something in the relationship that's causing you to self-doubt yourself, or is this from previous experiences? Those are questions I would ask you as a life coach first. And you're worthy of everything. So it's important to know that. And to really work on that. To think about that. Think about why you don't think you're worthy of things. Because you are. Who told you you weren't? You were born worthy.
Absolutely. It's your birthright.
And write out what you want and what
Yeah.
you don't want. And maybe that this is something that has been going on for a long time, that you really haven't stood up for what you wanted, and you've been people pleasing or not coming from a place of using your voice.
Yeah, it's knowing your own power too, coming from a place of power and not weakness, I think.
Right. Stop doing for others and start doing for yourself. And that's what a lot of people do, is that they are so used to helping others that they forget what they need. So they don't know their worth.
Wow. So you have a lot of clients telling you that?
Yeah. Well, they've taken care of everyone else and they have nothing in their cup. So
Ah,
we need to fill up the cup.
absolutely. How can the cup overflow if you have nothing there? Right?
Yeah. So we start small. What's one thing? What's one thing you could do for yourself?
Yeah,
And there's
absolutely.
always one thing. The rest are just excuses because you're not ready to try.
Absolutely. Every day I have a self-care thing that I do that I enjoy, and it's just for me every single day. And if I forget by the end of the night, then I do a self-care thing.
Right.
Whether and I plan for the week, like I'm going to take myself to the beach, I'm going to take myself to a restaurant, I'm going to have a massage, anything that's self-care. I kind of plan it and I make sure that I have at least 2 or 3 self-care things in a week.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if you don't do it, I know for me, if I don't do my routine in the morning, I definitely can feel off. So doing something, whether it's every day or once a week, will really help you build up your self-love, your confidence, help you with your mindset, and help you feel better so that you can accomplish what you want to in life.
100%. And it makes you feel like when I take myself out to eat my favorite restaurant, it makes me feel so good when I get home. I'm like, I did something for myself and I have more energy to continue doing the things that I do for my purpose again, because everything is about the purpose, right? But we need those breaks. We're not machines.
No. And the more breaks that you take, the more productive you are, and the more you're able to help other people fill up their cups.
Absolutely. As an athlete, I was a competitive swimmer, and the breaks that you take before a swim meet are the most important thing because you allow your body to have all that memory and all that training and all that energy. It recharges. And then when you do your swim meet, your times are amazing. But if you don't have that rest, then you're not going to be as efficient and as good. So everything in life is like that, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. We need breaks. We need self-care.
Absolutely. And that's one of the first things I tell my clients, like, where is your self-care? And a lot of the times it's not there.
Absolutely. And it rhymes. I love that. So, how does self doubt impact decision making, and how can we trust ourselves more?
If you are living in self-doubt, you're probably not making a decision. So you're sitting in
Mhm.
indecision,
Yeah.
and then you're not sleeping and you're stressed out. So start making small decisions, whether it's just going into your closet and just picking out an outfit. Don't think twice. Start small, right? What do you want for dinner? First thing that comes in your mind. Think about that. I mean, that's how where we have to start, because if you're doubting everything, then we have to start where you're at.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. So, what role do you think self compassion plays in overcoming doubt?
I think you have to be a compassionate scientist to yourself, because when you're learning about yourself and you're trying to improve yourself, you don't want to put yourself down for things that may have not gone the way that you wanted to. The failures, the mistakes, I think those are all learning opportunities. And so just gaining the insight and the values from those so that you can move forward, and being gentle with yourself and giving yourself grace so that you can move forward.
Absolutely. Sometimes, when I make a quote unquote mistake, I'm like, oh, why did I do that? And it's like, just have compassion. Just be nice. You have compassion with other people, but why not having it with yourself, right?
It's progress over perfection, right? We're
Yeah,
all going to have a little kind of things that are not perfect, and we should not be perfect, because we should always be striving to be better.
absolutely. Perfection doesn't exist on this reality, this little
No,
cube we live in.
you'll chase it and you'll never find it.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about supercharging your goals and achievements. Okay. So, how does overcoming doubt lead to bigger success in our careers?
I love that. Because you are overcoming doubt, which means you trust yourself. It means that you're able to take big action. There's no fear in it. You're trusting yourself. You're aligned with your purpose. So you're able to use your voice. So you have your goal, and you know exactly what you need to do to get there. You have your milestones. You have your calendar blocked off. So when you have overcome doubt, you can see, clearly with beautiful glasses on where you need to go and take action, and you're making decisions. When we're in doubt, we don't see that. We just see messy kind of mud, and
Yeah.
now we're through that.
Absolutely. So, what's the connection between like self doubt and procrastination? We procrastinate, we self doubt, and then we procrastinate, or vice versa. you know,
Because we're afraid of failure, so we
yeah,
just don't do anything, right? Because we procrastinate, we self-doubt, so we take no action, because no action means that we can't fail, and it means that no one can say anything. And so we just continue doing nothing, but when inside in our mind, we're tearing ourselves up, because we want to take that step, but it's like, what if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What if this person says something? So we need to take an action so that we build up that confidence muscle.
yes, absolutely. So, how can someone move past that fear of failure when pursuing their dreams?
I think it's what I would suggest is making a list. What is the goal, and what are teeny tiny steps we can do to get there, and crossing one off a week, and then two off, then three off, because we have to get there somehow. And if you want that goal that bad, you're going to actually do something about it,
Yes,
while we work on building trust and realizing that making no decision is just sitting alone and doing nothing. And it's hard, right? Because you got to learn to vision what you want, meditation, visualization, like what does that look like for you? So how would it feel to have taken two steps forward towards your goal? And so the more steps you take towards that goal, you start to feel better, and it reshapes how you're thinking about yourself and your mind.
absolutely. So, what do you think is the first step that someone should take today to shift from doubt to action?
Doubt to action. Write down one small step that they want to take towards their goal. What is a goal that they have? And it shouldn't be like, oh, I want to organize my closet, because you can do that any day, right? It should be a little bit scary. And, right. write 3 things that will get you a little bit closer to it. And they should scare you because they're new and it should get you out of your comfort zone. And then maybe write 3 steps under each that one so that you're working towards it. You have a guide, a roadmap, and then put it on your calendar so that it keeps you accountable. Because I can write many things down on a note card, but if it's not in my phone with notifications, it doesn't mean a thing.
Absolutely. Yes. It makes you just, you have to do it because I have I write everything down. I have like an old fashioned appointment book. Because
I got mine right here.
you do. Yeah. That works for me. Just writing it down for some reason. And I write it down in pencil so I can like change according to my schedule. If something changes, then I can put it in another day, that chore. And I have like little color codes, like the to-do things or the promotions I need to make. They're all color coded. And also if I don't do something because I don't have time, I don't beat myself up like, oh, I didn't do this. Then I can just delete. You can delete if you do it, on your calendar, on your Google Calendar, or erase it and then put it on another day. And that makes me feel like, okay, I couldn't do it today because of time limitations or something happened, unexpected happened. And so I can achieve it another day when I have the time. So I think being too strict about it, some people are really strict about it. It's like, oh, I didn't do it. And they beat themselves up. You can always do it another day, right?
Yeah, it's being flexible about it and knowing when you work best. So if you work best in the morning, put something like hard there, like content creation, rating something, knowing when you can just answer emails. Maybe that's at evening so that you're working your schedule and your hours best to when you're most focused, and allowing yourself maybe 2 reschedules so that it's not now July and we're still working on the same thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I've done that too. Rewrite. And it's been going on for 6 months, a couple of things, but we're not going to focus on that right now.
Right.
So if I could leave you, if I could leave you guys, if you could leave everybody, all of us, with one powerful mantra to combat doubt, what would it be?
You are worthy and you are capable and you can do it.
That's beautiful. You're capable and you can do it. Remember, just say that to yourself, right?
Yes. Trust yourself.
Yes. So thank you so much for being here with us today, Kate. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time and your knowledge and sharing your knowledge. So if somebody wants to have a one-on-one life coach session with you, they can go to your website, right? Which is
glendoncoaching.com.
glendoncoaching.com. Okay. Great. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
all right. This was amazing. Thank you so much. And hopefully you'll come back and talk about something else, another topic.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to.
That's great. And you guys follow Kate. All her stuff is like either Kate Glendon Coaching or Glendon Coaching or Kate Glendon Coaching. Follow her on Instagram, on Facebook, and go to her website and check it out. It's really cool. All right. We'll see you soon, Kate.
Okay. Talk soon. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. All right, you guys. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in today, and thank you for your participation. If you have any questions or anything that you want to ask Kate, you can put it in the comments, and I will forward them to her. But check her out, follow her, and remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube. Send me a screenshot. Via Instagram, follow me first, right? Because then it's not going to go to the other inbox. And also check the pinned comments for resources and merch. I'm going to pin it after the session, this live, and I have a lot of free guides for like narcissistic abuse, solo parenting, trauma. I have tons of good resources. So check them out. They're all available at thestateofgraceshop.com. But I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put all the links in the pinned comment on this live. And here's what I want you to remember, okay? Like self-doubt is not a feeling. It's a feeling, excuse me. It's not a fact. It's a feeling. It's simply a signal that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, which means that you're growing. So instead of fearing doubt, embrace it as a sign that you're moving towards something big. So be like, thank you, self doubt, because now I get to analyze and see what I really want and I'm going to go for it. And so, what's one thing that you are going to do today to push past self doubt and step into your power? Drop it in the comments. If this episode fired you up, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe for more transformational coaching. And as always, stay bold, stay fearless, and keep going after your dreams. You've got this. I love you guys and thank you for your love and support. I will see you next week, Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Have an amazing rest of your day.